Up last month, a new report by the National Association of Realtors shows existing home sales rose 2.4%. That was a bright spot in 2014, which saw a 3.1% dip. However, home sales are expected to climb in the year ahead. The realtors expect sales will climb 8% this year. Much of that growth will hinge on first-time home buyers. And if you're even thinking about buying a house, there's some really important credit card habits you need to know about.
It turns out your credit card habits could keep you from getting a mortgage down the road. Certified Financial Planner Bert joins us now to talk about the top mistakes we should make. You know, it's funny, Joe, because the mistakes you make now could have ramifications for years to come, couldn't they?
Exactly. You don't think about it. You know, we're out there spending on the credit card, and then one day we want to buy that dream house, and we find out we can't get that mortgage, or the mortgage we're going to get is going to cost us a lot more than what we planned on.
Because you bought a Nintendo 20 years ago, and you had no idea it was going to come back to haunt you.
And you never made the payments.
Right. Okay, let's talk about these mistakes here. First of all, paying late.
Yeah, this affects 35% of your score. The most important thing you look at, or they look at, is how timely you are when you make those credit card payments. So please pay them on time. One of the best ways around that is set yourself up on automatic bank draft. Now, I know people don't want to do that, but it forces you to make those payments on time.
Next one here you say is overutilizing credit. What do you mean by that?
This represents about 30% of your score. What they want to look at is how much of the available credit that you have available to you are you using. And you know, your credit card has a limit on it, say $5,000. They want to see that about 30%, no more.
Okay, so get the credit cards, but just don't go crazy on them.
Exactly.
But here's another part of it, applying for too many cards at once. I know there are factors here. I want to hear what you have to say. I'll follow up with you.
Well, this represents about 10% of your score. What they're looking at here is how many credit cards you're applying for in a short period of time. Oftentimes, you know, people think they're going to go out and buy the house, so I got to go out and get the furniture, I got to do this, I got to get the drapes, I got to buy the shutters, I got to do, and they, you know, put all on a credit card or on a company that offers the credit cards. This affects your score, so you want to be careful when you're doing this and how you're doing it.
You know, it's funny, Joe, because in the old no money down era, when there were videos out there every weekend, they would suggest you open as many credit cards as you can just to have that available. Well, that became a slippery slope for a lot of people.
Exactly, John.
All right, never getting a credit card at all. That's also a problem, though.
Yeah, what they're looking at here is your credit history. In other words, they want to know how long you've had credit and how well have you used it. This represents about 15% of your score. So you want to have a credit card, and you want to be, of course, you want to pay them on time, but you want to have a credit history.
And then perhaps the most obvious here, just racking up lots of debt. That can kill you.
Well, yeah, they're looking at how much income you have versus what your payments are. Banks like to see that about a 30% ratio. In other words, your outflow for your regular debt payments is no more than 30% of your income. But so all those things add up.
You know, Joe, yeah, it does add up, and I don't think people realize that there is a mathematical formula here that they look at, and it's pretty simple to figure out how to get a good credit score for your house.
The number one thing, John, is to make those payments on time. That affects the biggest part of your thing, and all the other stuff will fall into place. Be careful. It's very easy to get credit. You know, you go to the store today, they offer you the free credit card to give you 10% off. And if you're thinking about getting a mortgage, you want to be careful of those by getting those extra credit cards.
Too many hits. Joe, if people want to see more about you, where should they go?
All they need to do is Google me, Joe Bert, B-E-R-T.
All right, Joe, good to see you.
Thanks,
We'll talk
John.
to you soon. Happy Monday.